Steve, is the Schuck Foundation going to be time limited?
No,
Okay.
no. Thank you for asking that question. That's a great question, Mike. So I've argued with, I shouldn't say argue, but I've discussed this with my peers a lot. And many of them just say, and of course, predecessors like Simon, et cetera, and they all say, well, we're going to spend it down because I don't trust my successors. To me, that's sort of quitting. That's sort of throwing in the towel. That's number one. What I'm talking about doing is hard work. It is the hardest thing I've ever done. Making money, I made money, lost money two or three times, lost it all, made it back. That was a cakewalk. Making back was a cakewalk compared to figuring out and defining how to give it away effectively. So it's hard work. So most of our guys don't want to do that, go to that kind of effort. And if they don't, then you and I have seen the movie, and it's going to end up like Ford or Rockefeller or MacArthur or Pew and and um, and others whose names uh, I'd rather not mention. Um, uh, so I'm not going to spend it down. So the first reason is what I just described. I think I have a responsibility to be um, to go to the effort and do the work necessary. The second reason is, how do you know what institution to trust? Would you would you trust my alma mater, the University of Pennsylvania, or Harvard, or the Boy Scouts? I mean, where do you go to think that you're going to end up 25, 50, 75 years from now supporting the values that you believe in? And so to me, that's sort of the quitter's way out, the lazy way out. I don't mean to be critical of anybody, but that's my perception. And I say, I'm going to do the best I can to define the values. It's the values that will last, not the name of the or an organization or an entity. I have no faith in any of them. I mean, I can't name one that I would think I could invest in and be confident that 50 or 100 years from now, my goals would be honored. But if I define the values, they're eternal. And will people misinterpret those? Of course. Is my approach perfect? Hell no, not a chance.
Mhm.
But it's hopefully moving the needle in the right direction.
Have you ever wanted to update one of the videos or amend? I'm thinking, Steve, of a change of circumstances, which of course is what somebody would say to you. Do the videos deal with artificial intelligence, in other words, or difficulties that might arise later, even in applying your values that couldn't have been foreseen by you? Uh,
Um, no and yes, Mike. So we have not updated, and certainly we would if that were appropriate. But I think more relevant is the fact that I don't talk about the methodology or the means, or we don't talk about that. We talk about values, objectives. We want people, the primary objective of the Schuck Initiatives, which is the name of our foundation, and that sends a message all by itself by the name. We don't call ourselves a foundation, call ourselves an initiative. Um, is to move people from dependency to independence. Now, it could be on substance, it could be dependence on substance, or the depends on the government. I want people to become independent. That that's applicable in education for school choice. It's applicable in substance abuse. I mean, again, it's the values that drive our goals for the future, not organizations or methodology or any of that kind of stuff. I'm a long way from being smart enough to be able to anticipate everything, but but stating values and objectives is, again, we think survivable. It will survive um, most attacks.
Yeah. And then the final question is, and it might be another version of the same one, trying to be charitable to a donor. What if the donor's not sure? I guess if the donor's not sure of the values, you think they got a lot bigger problems than how to, ensure
Right.
intent. But what if they're not comfortable getting below the level of abstraction yet? I guess you would say they should be aware of the risk they're taking, man, and not, but what do we do with a donor who doesn't know what they might want? Should they even start a foundation, not make a video, fork it over to people they trust? Maybe they should time limit, huh? But what about
Again,
the donor who,
yes, great questions, Mike. In my opinion, they uh, they should look around to people who they admire, find role models. Um, I've offered to several of my peers that we'll do the hard work. We'll do the hard work. We'll ask the tough questions for you and distill it all down to use in a usable format, et cetera, et cetera. Um, but don't just don't just give up. You sort of have a responsibility. If you don't want to do the, I can't do anything about somebody who's too lazy, who doesn't care enough, and therefore allows his or her estate to be mishandled. That that's their problem. Uh, there are plenty of us around. I'm sure as hell not the only one, and I'm probably not even the best one, but there are plenty of us around who are available to be of help. And you're there, and Bill Chamber's there, and the Philanthropy Roundtable's there. There's the Carl Zinsmeister. I mean, there are all kinds of people who are available if somebody cares enough.
Mhm.
And and if they don't want to do the work, they can give me $1 million and we'll put a team together and do it for them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
or I'll do it for nothing. I mean, but don't don't do nothing. Don't don't leave it up to chance. We've seen that movie, and that's why the left is so powerful today, is because we have left the field open. We've created this vacuum. Just our passivity has created the vacuum that they fill. And shame on us. We have nobody to blame but ourselves.
Well, great, Steve. Unless you have anything to add, I think that's probably a good place on or at which to end. So if you want
Well,
to answer a question I didn't ask, do so now. Otherwise, I'll thank you, Steve Schuck of
no,
the.
you're really good. You're good, Mike, as always, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate the attention that you and Bill give to this whole issue. Um, and it is critically important. We're creating our own problems by not being more proactive in defining what we want accomplished with what we have accumulated. And the last thing I'll say is give as much attention to the giving as you did to the getting.
Right. Okay. Well, Steve Schuck of the Schuck Initiative, thanks so much for doing this with us today. I totally appreciate your time.
You bet, Mike. Thank you. Appreciate it.